What up? Healing. Continuing the conversation on healing. What's the deal? It's a little too hot outside. It's a little too hot outside. So your boy is inside for this Friday episode, and we're just gonna continue what we talked about yesterday on healing, um, and get into some more of those ideas. One of the things we talked about was just the fact that healing looks different for everyone. That it seems to be, and it probably is, impossible to map some particular plan for healing, like a particular set of rules or um, behaviors for healing. Because what healing is actually is powerfully bringing us back to the moment, bringing us back to now, bringing us back to the only thing that is, powerfully bringing us back to God, bringing us and pulling us in ease into a place of ease and and a relationship with what is. So powerfully healing will look like all kinds of things, all myriad types of things. There are thousands, millions, perhaps ways of being. There's thousands, millions ways of healing, because healing is not a thing. It's actually, in many ways, it's the relinquishing of things. It is the opposite of a thing. It's not a bunch of symbols or a plan or a map or a set of rituals. It is the opposite of those things. As we've all grown up in different conditions and we're given different stories, different perspectives about what it means to be alive, um, God, not God, who we are, what our value is, what we should be doing, we should be anxious about, what we should be fearful of. As I've said, we've been given these stories from a place of love by people who love and care about us, who passed them down thinking that they would be beneficial to us. We've also picked them up through our experiences. We might have found that there is safety in a certain behavior. There is love and acceptance in a certain behavior. And we take those stories on and we believe them. We believe them to such a degree that they no longer exist as beliefs. They exist in our minds as truth. They exist in a place that almost, it feels beyond reproach. It's normal. We've normalized a set of ideas about ourselves and our relationship to the world and our relationship to everything that is. And that healing engages in the breakdown of those things. It's a very interesting process that can't be pointed to and described in a particular way that would apply to each of us, because it is the opposite of a story. It is the removal of stories to come back to a place where you realize, before words, before we were told what it means to be good, what it means to be employable, what it means to be a man, what it means to be a black man, what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a whole host of things. And so it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable. And it shows up in a number of ways. And the example I tried to give yesterday was about the pizza, the slice of pizza. I was talking about a person who, you watch a young lady in a group, there's a big box of pizza we finished, and she grabs the last slice, and we can't tell, we don't know the condition in the mind. And what I want to say is that it's potentially, there's a person who is typically shy, typically reserved, typically slow to grab that pizza, typically very considerate of everyone else, but she might be grabbing the pizza because she is now in a period of healing where she realizes that she's entitled, and it's okay that there's the weight that she used to feel about, oh, I have to care for everyone else. For some reason, there was a story that made her pause and consider everyone else, while other people don't have that story. Other people live in the same time and space, but they exist in a realm where they can be active. It's okay to be active. It's okay to be aggressive even. And for her, all her life, she's built up a world where it's not okay to be that. and we might happen upon her. We might meet her at that point when there's that final slice of pizza, and what looks like a simple gesture, this grabbing a slice of pizza, is actually a huge psychological move, a healing, a spiritual move, an act that changes her entire sense, or continues to build as she continues to change her entire sense of the world. When I say a spiritual move, I'm talking about reality. I'm not. I grew up with a sense that, and this is why words are so. I keep talking about words, right? Even the idea of spirituality. I'm not. I'm talking about what is. I'm not talking about some other place, some weird, dark other place. I'm talking about what is right now. I'm talking about the nature of our experience, the nature of our experiences together, the nature of our experiences individually. Um, and just the way we talk, the way we engage with this world, we parse things out and we split things up. As I've said so many times before, we do it because there's good reason for it. It helps us tell a complex story. And so we want to say that there's a thing that is, and then there's this other thing called spirituality. There's this other realm or whatever. And it's all one thing. You come back to that truth and you understand that yes, it's all one thing. And so, you know, when I'm talking about healing, I'm talking about perception, I'm talking about human physics, I'm talking about linguistics, I'm talking about chemistry and biology. We are aware to some degree of the human miracle about this experience. We don't even scratch the surface. We don't, like I say, so much of what can be viewed as entirely miraculous and insane, we normalize. We don't experience it as such. Walking downstairs, the kind of coordination it takes to walk safely downstairs. If you're older than 5 years old, you've done that, and you're not, you're an able-bodied person, you've done that. And we no longer feel it. Sight, we no longer feel it, this ridiculous ability we have. If you're someone who draws, you have a skill, or you dance, you don't understand, like, the things you do with ease were not entirely easy to you at first. And for other people, they marvel at it, right? The way that your body is able to move and you're able to hit things. It is because you put the energy and the attention there. You were able to bring your incredible personal intuition, attention, and energy towards building yourself in a way to be able to do those things. When I played football, the things people can do, running and catching a football while getting hit, and the depth perception and being able to throw a football in the direction of someone running at a certain speed at a certain angle, and to know how to hit that. Most people can't do that. It's through that skill. That's incredible. It's through that practice. What an incredible thing that the body, we're born in a condition of dependence and kind of frailty, for sure. And then you over time you develop in a number of ways, that we typically map and talk about, like the physical development and some mental development. We talk about emotional development to some degree. I'm talking about, as a culture, we have this discourse, but we're not even scratching the surface of the ways that we are developing, the little nuances of what it means to be development. Our biology textbooks are incomplete. The textbooks are a dumbed down version of what the best, the edges of biology, the field, are dealing with. The same with the physics textbooks and chemistry and the rest of it. It is an incomplete story that we've developed, everything from the five senses to a whole host of other things. And I want to say, so the story is incomplete. And I want to say that, just like, again, like the dancer who develops these muscles, or the bodybuilder who goes to the gym and intentionally develops the bicep. They go in consciously, they're like, I'm working the shoulders today, and they think about it, and they position weights in a way to maximize shoulder range of motion, and they build their shoulders with intention. You're also doing all of these things without intention. You are you gain a ton of information about the world without intention, without conscious effort, without energy. It's on what, standby, not standby. It's on autopilot. Your breathing is on autopilot. A bunch of your eating, where you eat and digest, yes, you chew, and then you might be consciously doing, but you honestly, what I realized, honestly, like when I think about eating, that's when I end up biting my tongue, right? You're not thinking about eating. You put the food in your mouth, then you chew and you bite, and you know what you're saying, and a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of reactions are happening. It's being broken down not just through the biting of your teeth, but the enzymes and the releases, the saliva is doing a bunch of stuff that prepares it to go on to the next phases, to then be broken down further so that you get the energy in the cells and then to the waste. And that's all happening without your attention. And that's just what it is. And so I want to say, like, that's what your body does. That's what you are. But without dealing with that, without engaging with that, without learning to notice that, you can fall out of love with it. You can dismiss it. You won't even see it. You won't even appreciate it or care enough to notice it. You're busy trying to present man or present competent journalist or whatever. Present, this thing that, that the society has put in front of us, that these worries, these fears. Instead, Jake Lang gets up and has to carry a sign talking about black families, you know what I mean? And go to black events like the BET Awards just to provoke, just to start that. He believes he has to do that. He's so dumb. He's so underdeveloped. He's so unfamiliar. He's so unhealed, unfamiliar with what is, unfamiliar with the power of himself and the power of the people that he's mocking and harming. He's so lost about what this moment is and what's actually happening. The story he has is so stupid that he and his friends have to do that instead. They have to be racist menaces. So we develop our muscles, we develop our sense of self. While we talk about muscles a lot, and we've mapped it very much, and there's lots of people interested in kinesiology in the body, and also without an intention, we build up over our lifetime a really strong, involuntarily, we build up a sense of what reality is, about what's scary, about what's good, about what's high value, about what you should strive for, about what you should avoid, about who you are. And healing begins to notice that it's just a story. It begins to peel away at these things. It begins to, as my example with my family, I was in my late 30s, unaware that I could engage with my family differently, that I didn't have to play the role that I was certain I had to play, which was this kind of a fixer, uncle, brother kind of role. I was certain of that. I didn't like it. It bothered me. I had all kinds of issues with it, but I played the role dutifully because I felt that it was what I had to do, what reality was for me and my family. And I did what I had to do to protect it, people couldn't see it, or you know what I'm saying? And I always feel that until I realized that there's a bigger story. And when I did, I could engage differently. And when I did, things got weird and different. And they continue to be different. And I'm free of that story, and I'm healed, and now I can engage with my mom in a completely different way. And I can engage with my brothers in a completely different way when the time is right. And the opposite of that pizza story includes the person who, while she was raised demure and considerate and unwilling to take the last slice, there's that other person who went straight for it. It's the masculine thing to do. He's an alpha. Yeah, fuck it, yeah. People like on you. Bitch is like when you take the last slice. Fuck it. You know, you're the guy. You sit with your legs open and take up space and all these other rules that the men teach each other. And healing for him, I mean, you could take that as far as you want. You can take that as far as you want, but this is just one example. It's just pizza, but these things play out in all myriad kind of ways, and healing for this person will, particularly if they've taken that logic to the furthest extent, and they start to take and they start to aggress and they start to, you know what I'm saying? They identify with taking and aggressing as what is the world, and healing for them. The world will compel them to notice that they should fall back. That's how it works. It's like in ways that I can't explain, like experiences. Something will happen where it will be, there will be some sort of a challenge that will require them to notice that there's balance and that they should fall back, and they don't have to aggress, and they don't have to be taking and active all the time. That they need to be, that passivity can work. That being something other than a shift, an awareness of the fullness, an awareness that you're capable of all things, you're capable of it all, and nothing is outside of you. So yo, check out the rest of the YouTube channel. Check out the rest of these videos. We'll continue this talk about healing, about identity, about the stories that we hold. I see the God in you. Subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.